Hello everyone, my name is Sherry Tolinar and I am the owner of the Prosperous Group. I'm here today as I am every day to help you navigate the admin world by answering your questions. If you would like to submit your question, please go to my Facebook page, I'll post the link below, and send me a private message. I will do my best to answer through this platform. Now, today's question comes from Angela. She writes, I'm struggling with a personal character flaw that I'd love to know if you've conquered. I'm fast, I get to my duties quick, I turn them around, but I have a habit of feeling confident in my work and then missing important details or typos. I know it's because I'm moving too quick. I'm working on rereading, rechecking, slowing down, but I think my overconfidence is allowing me to miss things that I shouldn't. What is your tip for attention to detail and minimizing mistakes? So, first of all, Angela, I'm going to let you off the hook a little bit here and maybe pivot you in a different direction. After answering your question, I'm going to let you in on a little secret about yourself that you're going to love, so please listen till the end. Your question highlights perfectly why knowing your behavioral and communication strengths and style is so crucial to excelling in your career. Now, without knowing you personally, admittedly, you've given me a lot of insight into what I think is an excellent strength of yours. Now, Angela, if you were to take a personality profile, I would bet you any money that you would be categorized as a fast thinker, fast talker, a big picture thinker, and an excellent strategist. There are so many nuances to that I just can't get into right now for brevity's sake, but suffice to say, these are all excellent strengths. This is where you naturally polarize to, but it also means that you do not naturally gravitate towards paying attention to details, which is why slowing down is not easy for you. When you do get to do that, you get booted out of that mode really easily. Now, I'm not saying that you can't pay attention to details. It simply means that you have to be more deliberate about it. It's not going to do you any good to beat yourself up over this pattern that you find yourself in, because that will just perpetuate and reinforce that truth for you. So, from this moment on, please stop beating yourself up for it or chastising yourself for it or thinking that you're less than perfect because of it. And don't call it a character flaw, please. Instead, recognize that it is not something that you necessarily are hardwired to do. Now, because you don't polarize to being detail-oriented, you will have to put some effort into flexing to that end of the spectrum. This is where you will need to practice mindfulness. So, for instance, when working on a task that requires attention to detail, follow these steps. First, recognize that you are going to need to flex here. Then, take a moment to just ground yourself, whatever works for you. Generally, I find that just a few slow, deep breaths will help. Then, you're going to need to go through your work methodically. For instance, if it's a document or email that you've created that you need to proofread, you're going to want to break it into chunks, such as paragraphs, and go through each of those slower than what feels natural to you. Have a checklist for repeated tasks. For instance, when proofreading, first go through it to look for, let's say, formatting. Once that's done, now you can check for punctuation. Once you're satisfied with that, read through it again and look for spelling and grammar. Before you send it out, check in with yourself about whether or not you feel confident about sending it. Or do you kind of feel like you rushed it a little bit? You'll know the answer. Now, this is slow and exaggerated at first, but you're reprogramming your neural pathways, and it will get easier and more second nature as time goes on. Now, you're thinking to yourself that one of the cornerstones of being an administrative professional is attention to detail. So are you even in the right line of work? I'll let you in on something, Angela. I think you and I fit the same profile. And I was a successful EA for 20 years. Now, how did I do it? I practiced exactly as I described it to you until I became good at it. Now, here's the fun part I promised. Guess what profession shares what I think your personality profile is? CEOs, business owners, and executives, because those are the same quality that makes them suited to their jobs. So please don't ever take your natural tendencies to be anything other than the gifts they are. Now, what does that mean for you? Long term, it will make you really good at running a business if you ever feel inclined to set your sights on that, especially your own business. So Being in your profession now is at the very least laying some cool foundation for you to do that. In the meantime, though, it gives you a particular edge because it means that you're more naturally inclined to to think like a CEO, which is going to make you an excellent strategic partner for whatever executive you support. So focus on your strengths, Angela. They're going to serve you well. As for any perceived weakness, these are things that can be mastered with deliberate intent and mindfulness. Research the hell out of tools and processes that will help you. Aim to be above average in what does not come naturally to you. Now, I really hope this helps. I'd love your feedback in the comments. If you're watching over YouTube and you feel so inclined, please take a moment and like this video and hit subscribe. Thank you.